Yes. All right, and I think with that we can get started. So our today's topics will be all about enabling generative AI with MuleSoft. Um, let's also quickly continue to the next slide. So today's speakers, we will have Antonio joining later in this call. Antonio is a senior director as part of MuleSoft within the solution engineering team. Um, Andres, maybe good to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I guess most of you already know me. Yes, I'm Enrique Gomez. I based in Madrid, and I part together with Bior of or leading this channel architect team. Just focus 100% to help support all our MuleSoft partners. uh, just more focus on go-to-market messaging to build solution together, architecture point of view, all this kind of thing. We can say more technical topics, okay, that allow us together to position MuleSoft in your customer prospect. So over to you, Björn.
Yeah, thanks, Andres. So, for people who don't know me yet, I have a similar role like Andres. Same objectives, other than that Andres is covering south of EMEA and I'm covering the northern part of EMEA. Um, with that said, let's first, start with a big thank you to all of you, of course, for taking the time out of your agenda to join us for today's meeting, which is, of course, as I said, all about MuleSoft and generative AI for today. Um, First of all, of course, always the forward-looking statements. I will not go into detail, but let's continue to the agenda. So let's first kick off with a bit of an introduction, right? With MuleSoft and Gen AI, we have some demos around certain topics, and of course, we will always have some time for Q&A in the end, likely about 10 to maybe 15 minutes that we will have left. So first question, please all go on mute. And if there is any urgent question, please get off mute. Let's keep it interactive and raise your question in between. Second thing, we will share again all of the slide material and the recording by end of the day or tomorrow early morning. So you will be able to go through all of it once again or share it with your colleagues. All right, so let's get started. And let's start with a bit of history. So we were one of the first iPaaS solutions back in 2006, right? Introducing the concept of API-led connectivity and also helping our customers to create composable businesses. And over time, what we see, we've expanded our portfolio to include automation, including the acquisition of the RPA vendor called Service Trace, and also universal API management. In 2018, we were acquired by Salesforce, which really accelerated our ability to connect third-party applications to valuable customer data, I should call it, within Salesforce across service, sales, commerce, marketing, and much more. And we have continued to lower that barrier to entry so that everyone can innovate. And that means from pro code through low code users. And most recently, we brought Salesforce Flow and orchestration capabilities into the fold, and we will continue to invest in AI. MuleSoft helps our customers to achieve at massive scale, right? And we power about 7.5 billion customers integrating transactions each day. So let's talk about where we're going, because we have a lot of innovation coming your way. And we are fortifying our integration solutions by adding Einstein, generative AI, to any point code builders so that developers can use natural language to create flows. And by mid-year, they will be able to design, catalog, and implement asynchronous APIs. And in that same category, with Partner Manager, we'll support OMS use cases to further support our B2B EDI transactions in the end. On the automation side, we've also added generative AI to Flow so that business users can use natural language to create flows as well. And to fulfill our end-to-end automation offering, we have recently launched IDP, which is all about intelligent document processing. And IDP is there able to, let's say, extract that unstructured data, I should call. And last in that list is the automation Lightning app to better view and monitor your flows. On the bottom, about API management, that offering continues to drive the differentiation with our universal position. And we will be extending API protection and endpoint platform capabilities to IBM Power customers, right? By providing more actionable insights to help users create better API strategies, and bringing in non-Mule APIs into the endpoint platform for governance and visibility. And now with the AI integrated capabilities, or to be, I should say, into our products, and the AI-powered software development, what this slide is all about, this power of AI is becoming the standard in helping developers write, I call it, high-quality code much faster and more efficiently. So I would say gone are the days where developers spend time researching alone and manual writing code, optimizing it, and debugging. And there's data to back this up, right? So since AI is multiplying developer productivity, and with that, we're able to see that, for example, we are 45% faster in writing code, 35% faster to write documentations, and in about 20% faster to refactor code. But most importantly here, developers are embracing this technology. So with 55% of them predicting a boost in their overall productivity, and 60% of them feel more fulfilled in their job with AI by their side. And AI is just the beginning, right? As technology advances, developers to expect and to see quick adoption into their preferred tooling to continue the increase of their own productivity in the end. So MuleSoft is reimagining the way how developers build APIs, how they build APIs and integration from the ground up to help support our customers in their future initiatives. So we're actually moving away from yesterday's technology and embracing a new IDE that brings along all of the modern capabilities that developers expect to see. And some of you have already heard about this in probably one of our previous talks, but that's where Anypoint Code Builder is designed for. And for those of you who are not familiar yet with this product, Anypoint Code Builder is MuleSoft next-gen IDE for API and integration development. And our vision for Anypoint Code Builder is to give users a modern, lightweight development experience through a single unified IDE. So what makes Anypoint Code Builder different? Well, we've embraced a new modern development environment with Visual Studio Code as our backend infrastructure. So now developers will have access to the entire ecosystem of VS Code extensions, enabling them to work in an environment that they are familiar with, that they want to code in, right? And has the interoperability across many ecosystems and technology stacks. And we've also combined the entire API and integration development experience into a single tool. So no more wasted time importing and exporting projects across multiple environments. Tackle everything from design to deployment through a single pane of glass, right? And we're also bringing in the power of AI to MuleSoft developers. And of course, that's what it's all about today. So developers can now jumpstart projects by using natural language prompts to generate their flows, which in the end should save them time, development time, I should say. So let's dive a little bit deeper in each one of these categories that you see in this slide. So building our new IDE on VS Code is a major upgrade for developers. According to Stack Overflow, VS Code is the most popular IDE on the market at the moment, with over 73% of developers that are currently using it. And there's a lot of inherent benefits to build on top of VS Code. And the biggest is the ability to have both cloud and desktop IDEs. And this gives developers the flexibility in how they work, right? Developers can easily spin up their own personal instance of ABC in their own favorite browser in actually minutes, right? Or install ACB on a local version of VS Code on their own machine. And in addition to this, developers will also have access to the entire ecosystem of VS Code extensions. You can think of this as something similar to, for example, the way we use extensions in Google Chrome. But VS Code extensions let you easily tap into useful tools to help develop faster. And finally, VS Code offers modern IDE functionality, such as code reuse and code autocomplete, which is available natively. Another key initiative with Anypoint Code Builder is the consolidation of the developer experience. So we wanted a unified IDE where developers can design, where they can implement, they can test, debug, and deploy all of their APIs integration. So as said, no more wasted time importing and exporting projects across multiple environments, where IT teams can now tackle all of their development work through that single pane of glass. So we are bringing the power of AI to MuleSoft integration with Einstein for Anypoint Code Builder. So embedded seamlessly with Anypoint Code Builder, Einstein empowers developers to jumpstart their projects by using that natural language prompts to generate integration flows easily. And our mission with Einstein for Anypoint Code Builder is to provide developers with a user-friendly and secure gateway to AI capabilities, which streamlines the pace of their integration endeavors. And Einstein for Anypoint Code Builder is currently in beta with plans to GA in October this year. So how does this work? Well, when users start a new project in Anypoint Code Builder, they will be presented with two options. One is start from scratch, and the other one is start with AI. If they choose to start with AI, they are presented with a panel on the right-hand side where they can detail their desired use case using that natural language. For example, generate a flow that reads opportunity objects from Salesforce when the amount is greater than 10,000 and transform it into a CSV, for example. So after sending the prompt, Einstein is able to create the code that matches the use case. And users will first get a preview of the generated code. They can review it, validate it before inserting it into their project, along with a summarized description of what the code exactly does. So the code that Einstein generates incorporates business logic, core components, pre-bundled connectors, and we're slowly rolling out functionality to leverage connectors from Anypoint Exchange as well. And with that said, let's see that in action. Let me move over to my other screen. For the people who are not familiar, this is Visual Studio Code. And I've added the MuleSoft extension pack, which you can see on the left side with the Muley logo there, in order to be able to design, to implement, and develop new applications. So this home screen gives you a quick overview of any point code builder quick actions, as well as any helpful links to documentation. So here I have 3 journeys that I can quickly start, including developing an integration. Note also that I can design an API specification in RAML or OAS, or implement an API that I've already defined. But in this demo, we'll show how to develop an integration using the power of AI. So when clicking to develop an integration, I'm creating a new project which is called Send Email, where I can build and test my Mule application. So now that I've, let's say, created my Send Email project, I navigate to the Send Email XML file, which you can see in the top left corner, where I can use Mule components to build my integration. And to begin building my flow, as said earlier in my presentation, I can use start from scratch or start with AI, right? Which you can see in the Visual Studio Code now. So notice that start with AI option allows you to use the, let's say, Open Einstein option, but also you can see that there are, let's say, a number of example prompts in there. And let's click on the right side here. When opening, for example, Einstein, when we click on Start with AI, you see already what's happening there on the right side. Simply what I actually did is I took one of the example prompts when a new case is created in Salesforce, send an email. So after sending in that example, let's say prompt, to send an email when a new case is created in Salesforce, I received that generated flow from Einstein, which you can see on the right side, that quickly allows me to get started. So after reviewing that flow, I can either choose to copy or insert it directly into my project with simple one click. And you can see that the components, they have been added for the Salesforce object listener, which you can see here, the transformation, and the send email component. Note that when I insert the new elements for the first time, the necessary dependencies for those operations from pre-bundled connectors, they will be automatically added to my project. And these dependencies, they can be found in the pom.xml file where dependencies and configurations are managed. So let's close the right pane to have a better view of the XML. Notice the error message in my Salesforce configuration, which basically tells me that there is no Salesforce connector configuration yet. So to complete this error, I can easily leverage snippets. Snippets are built-in or customizable templates of code that I can reuse to build my projects. So let's add the first snippet here, right? Which basically gives me my Salesforce configuration. Yeah, you just saw that the Salesforce configuration was added, and let's say, the same thing for, of course, our send operation, right? In order to make sure that we send an email, that we add that configuration there. So now that we build, let's say, our send email flow, let's extend our flow with some more components by clicking on the, let's say, plus sign, right? Right in between the transformation and the email component. And this opens up the option to extend our flow with other components, such as core processors, connectors, and, let's say, other snippets. So let's add for example, a logger snippet. So we go to snippets, we take the logger snippet and we add it, let's say, to our flow. And the same can be done with many out-of-the-box core connectors, as you can see, let's say, in this list when we click on, for example, components. So it gives you a variety of components that are already there out of the box. So this was simply a quick demo to show you what the capabilities are when using Einstein, right? AI prompts that allow you to build your flow in a faster way. Let's get back to the presentation. So coming soon, I already showed you a bit more on this. Let's say in my first slide. There are a few things that are on the horizon. We'll continue to iterate and build upon flow generation through the generative flows beta and pilot that are currently taking place. So that would mean, as said, that basically before the end of the year, I mentioned October time, that we will have these, let's say, AI capabilities active in Code Builder. All right. So far, any point Code Builder? Please, if there are any questions, please raise a hand before we continue.
Björn, there are 2 questions on the chat.
Yes. Okay, let's have a look because I don't have my chat open. Where do I see my palettes with connectors for drag and drop? I think I just showed the palette, right? So let me get back to, we can have a quick look. This is actually the palette, right? For the connectors where I can drag and drop. That's where I ended my demo with. So you will actually be able to drag them into or in between each, let's say, flow component that is out there. The other question is why the flow is changed from horizontal to vertical. Well, that's a good question, right? I do not have. I don't know, Andres. Do you happen to know why we've done this, or Antonio? I also see that you joined our call.
No idea.
It fits my screen better doing it vertically, I would say. But let me get back on that, Sam, if it's really an urgent question for you. Jose, your question was, is this publicly available already? Code Builder is, but the functionality around AI is not. It's currently in beta, and as said, right, there are expectations to have this GA, let's say, by the end of the year. All right, Lucas, last question from you. Is this available in Web Code Builder? Well, there are 2 options, right? Either you have the desktop IDE you can use, or you can launch the let's say the web code builder option. And yes, it will in the end, of course, also be available in that option. Moving on, let me hand over to you, Andres, to continue the slide, and we get back on some of the other questions that we still have pending. But before that, maybe it's also good to, because Antonio, you just joined our call. Maybe you can have, let's say, quickly introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. So hello, everybody. Antonio Galdo. I run the solution engineering team for South EMEA. That's around 100 countries for MuleSoft, and I've been 8 years in Salesforce. Before, I had a core SC role, and happy to present you just in a few seconds how MuleSoft can help in any Gen AI initiative that any of your customers wants to implement.
Yeah, thank you for being here, Antonio. And let me first hand over to Andres.
Okay, good. I'm going to share my screen, Björn. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So another interesting area where MuleSoft Salesforce is investing just in Gen AI is in the automation bundle. We want to offer our customer to be able to create new or to automate new the business processes in a more just using generative AI. For instance, we are able to in a natural language to say, Mr. Einstein, can you please create a Salesforce flow for me in order to automate this business process? And the Salesforce or the Einstein, sorry, Salesforce Einstein will create for us this flow. This is one. This is just. Let me just put the pointer here. This is more focus here in this area. Okay, but also we provide that is already available, and all of you, if you want, you can access to this new component, IDP, Intelligent Document Processing, that also through instance, we will be able to extract data from different document style, PDF, picture, in a very easy way that we are going to see in a few seconds in a demo. Okay. So, what is IDP or Intelligent Document Processing? Intelligent Document Processing is a mix between OCR, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and natural language. And this is great. Now, your customer, our customer, will be able to extract information, to extract data in a really very easy way. You know, many of your customers will need to manage different documents from different partners, from different providers. Okay, and each provider will send the invoices, will send the purchase order or any generic document, passport IDs, car ID, whatever, in different formats. And before IDP was really very difficult to be able to manage all these documents because you need to go for each document to define the boxes, where is this data, especially in this for this invoice, and it's really a very hard work to do that. Now with IDP, you will be able to say, hey, here is my invoices. We have thousands or hundreds of invoices from different providers, and I want to extract the total amount of this for these invoices. And just you can ask this to IDP in natural language. And the good thing is now the IDP will be responsible to share in all these different invoices what is this total amount, and to extract this from each invoice and provide you this data. And you know, this is great because it's very flexible, it's very efficient for the customer now to be able to access to all this information from picture and from other documents like a PDF, for instance. So how IDP work? You know, IDP work with an structured and structured document, PDF, picture, image. Okay, with IDP, as I said before, we will be able to ask in natural language to extract this data. So we are able to, or IDP will be able to extract the data and also provide us context about this data. That is also an interesting feature because also we will need to have some context about where this data coming from. Also, based on this unstructured document, IDP will send us, as a result, data in a structured document like JSON. And based on that, we will be able to manage all this data in APIs, in integration, or maybe in a Salesforce project, in CRM or whatever. So this is great for our customer now. Okay. So let me show you a small demo about the IDP. You can see here we have, this is Salesforce Orchestrator, Salesforce Flow. And as I said before, with Salesforce Flow, you will be able also to ask Einstein to generate a flow in order that you can automate this business process, and Einstein will provide you all the steps needed to do that. Here we already have this business process, and here we have we are calling the IDP component. Okay, so here in the IDP component, we are just calling or we are just accessing to Anypoint platform. The IDP component is available in your Anypoint platform. We can start just defining a document. I already have a couple of documents, passport from South Africa, passport from Emirates, and just show you this example from South Africa. Here we have this document that we can edit. We can select the passport ID, and here you can see I already have some fields asking the IDP in a natural language, where is my ID number, where is where is the signature, but also we can add new ID. For instance, here I want to see the country of birth. Okay, so and I can ask in natural language the question, where is this country code in this passport ID. Okay, so I asking this one, I add this question to the IDP, and I'm going to run to see what is the data that the IDP is providing me. Okay, here we can see that really based also on confidence that, okay, this is 100% sure that this is the data that you want to access, because it's just related with sex. But also here about the new country birth, also is confident that this provides you the data that you want to manage. And if you want to see where the IDP is extracting this data, you can just check here, and you can see here this RSA is coming from this place, from this picture. Okay, so we can publish this document to a chain, and the great thing that always, independently if we are publishing an IDP or we are publishing an API bot, the good thing of MuleSoft is we are grabbing this asset like as an API, a REST API. We are providing an interface through a REST API in order that you can invoke this asset, this IDP, this API bot from any place, from another API, from another, from a specific application, from a VPN, from Salesforce. This is the very interesting feature that we provide out of the box. When you publish this asset to a chain, automatically we are just grabbing this asset like an API. So it is really very easy to invoke now this IDP component in order to extract all the information. How you can manage all this information, as I said before, in a structured mode, just in a JSON component. I think that is really very important that you can understand very well this component, because I'm pretty sure will be really very useful for many of your customers. Okay, so based on that, I just pass the control to Antonio, that is going to explain us what is the role of MuleSoft in any generative AI project. So Antonio, over to you.
Thank you, Andres, and hello, everybody. Again, let me share my screen because I have also demos to share. So infinite loop, this is the typical thing they don't advise to do, but I did it. So let's go into the topic, as I already introduced myself. So I'm going to talk about Gen AI. I'm not to talk about what are the Gen AI features that our product has to be more efficient, more productive, the things that we saw. It's how can MuleSoft help any organization that you're working with in their Gen AI journey, in their Gen AI initiative. Before I start, I like to present this because sometimes we're talking about Salesforce. This is about a non-Salesforce environment, right? You want to consume Gen AI, LLM, the output of an LLM in any application in your organization. If you're only going to use it in Salesforce, then Einstein 1 is the answer because it's the best possible platform you could use. And of course, MuleSoft can extend that Einstein 1 platform, but that's not the subject for today, okay? So moving forward, let me start with a little experiment, okay? So this is something we did 9 months ago with an insurance company. And they called us because they wanted to see how we could help them in the Gen AI journey. And one of the initial projects they had was around improving the brand image, the image that internally people had on this role in the insurance company, which is called the actuaries, okay? I don't know if anybody here knows what an actuary does, but those are the bad guys in the organization, the people that increase the premium at renewal rate, and they put the prices on the policies. They are also the ones that say no to certain claims whenever you need to pay, say no to customers, and then the agent needs to talk with the customer. So bad guys. So they say, let's improve the image. Let's launch a campaign with, of course, Marketing Cloud. And in order to launch a campaign, internal campaign, we need images. And for that, we want to use Midjourney. I guess many of you know Midjourney. It's one of these LLMs that is specialized in images and building graphics. And they said, let's go for it. Let's find the brand image and let's start the campaign. And they ask a question to Midjourney. This is the question that you can see. Say, hey, give me an image of actuaries working. And that was the output. And of course, I don't know if you're laughing, if you're smiling, I cannot see you, but of course the audience was saying, hey, this is really bad. Is this LLM technology really useful? So somebody said, let's add some more context. Why don't we say what actuaries do? Where do they work? With a computer in an office. Is this good enough? They said, no, it's not good enough. Okay.
Antonio.
Yes.
Antonio, I think your screen is frozen because we continue just we see the first slide, the role of MuleSoft for generative AI project.
Oh, okay. So strange.
Yes, now.
Okay, but
Now,
can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so let me put it in a different way. Let's see if this way it works better. Can you see the computers in an office? Okay.
Yes.
So we went through those. This was the initial one. Okay, we improved the prompt. Then somebody said, hey, this is not really accurate. They work with spreadsheets, and Midjourney generated this one. Okay, do you see the third one? Yeah, the spreadsheets. Do you see that one?
Yeah.
Okay, and then somebody said, well, there's no gender equality or gender diversity, and this is the one. Okay, so this is the experiment, right? And this is something to kind of an icebreaker. I think we all know what Gen AI is, but we all need to think about what is the role, how can we push or move Gen AI into an organization so any user, any system, any business process can leverage the value of Gen AI. And the Gen AI is very simple. You could try to complicate it, overcomplicate it, or you could see it really simple. You just need to build the right prompt, which is what we see on the left, and ground that prompt, that grounding, which means adding additional context and details. So the answer, it's accurate and it's effective and it's useful and valuable for the organization. So it's all about, bringing the customer environment, right, where the users are, where the customers are, where the business processes are, and you see that on the left, bringing those to leverage the value and the benefits and the magic that the LLM world could bring into those business processes. So, you send a prompt and you receive a response. So what is the role of MuleSoft? So we sit in the middle, right? Because at the end, and we will see that later through a demo too, at the end, this is about routing to the right prompt. There are many prompts out there, many LLMs out there, right? So you need to route to the right one. And maybe a company has some on-prem, some public, some images related, some text related, some voice related, but it's also around grounding properly. And grounding means bringing the right context. And that context is hidden in all of those applications, more than 900 that any organization has, right? But it's also, when you think about once the prompt is sent, and I want to bring back the prompt, it's also about ensuring that prompt has no hallucinations, has no toxicity, ensuring trust all over, right? So that's the role of MuleSoft. And we will see this through a demo. Now, with the exciting part, this is maybe too much theory. Let's go into the practice, into the exciting part, which is the demo. So we're going to see a demo where we see how we leverage the LLM in an insurance company. Remember, actuaries, insurance, this is the context today. This company called Home Guardian. And you know that in Salesforce, we like storytelling. So the story today is about Brenda, okay? You see Brenda on the left. Brenda is a customer of this Home Guardian insurer. And she comes home after a hard day of work, and she finds her bedroom flooded with water, right? What does she do? She takes the phone and phones the agent, which is Annie, and you see there on the right. And Annie needs to provide an answer, and in order to provide an answer to Brenda and to start working on the solution, she needs to go through many, many systems, right? She's really stressed. She's not meeting the deadline and the SLA that Home Guardian has committed with the customer. But fortunately, today, I want to share with you that this company called Home Guardian is doing things differently thanks to the LLM technology. So they are taking that data from Brenda and they are pushing that into the LLM, who's going to help them immediately classify and do a triage of the cases. We will see that just now in this demo, okay? So can you see, I changed the screen. Can you see this now? Andres? Can you see my screen?
Yes, Antonio, yes.
Okay, yeah. So demo time. So on the left, you have Brenda's apartment. On the right, you have Annie's desktop. Guess what? This is Salesforce Service Cloud. Many of you know it, okay? So Brenda comes home, sees the bedroom looking like that, which is flooded. I don't know if you appreciate that, but it's flooded. It's completely flooded, right? And she takes the photographs, and she just opens, this is Experience Cloud. She opens the mobile app from Go Guardian, says, hey, my bedroom is flooded. What can I do? Asking a question, adding the photograph, okay? She uploads the photographs. She submits, right? And now once she has submitted, things are going to happen. The case is created in Service Cloud. I don't know if you saw that pop up. Maybe it was too fast.
Antonio, we continue to see the first screen of the service agent.
Okay. So you don't see
your mobile app or this kind of thing? No, we will
the
not.
mobile app did not work. Okay.
No.
How about now?
Now, yes.
Okay, so I think there's a little bit of a lag. I have a network issue, so apologize, everybody. Apologies. I have a network issue, I believe so. But what I did was open the mobile app from Brenda on the left. Brenda uploaded the photograph. She said, my bedroom is flooded. What can I do, Home Guardian? And on the right, Annie received an omni-channel that you see on the bottom blinking. She receives the case, okay? And there you have the case, okay? And when she clicks on it, the nice thing and the beauty is that she can have a pre-classified case. Can you see now that the center?
Again, is frozen.
It's frozen. Okay. So not sure if I need to do it again. How about now?
Yeah, now we see the Brenda's room in the service.
Okay, so sorry. It looks like this is not refreshing correctly. I don't know why. But anyway, I will try to do that trick whenever I change.
Yeah, Jose just is telling that only is update when you just move your screen, when you move from.
Okay, so I will do it this way. So what happens here? So what we have done is we have created a case with attached photograph, but before routing that case into the agent queues. We have taken this through MuleSoft, ask an LLM, OpenAI, right? And given the photograph and send a prompt that says, please classify by priority. You see their priority by type. Let me know what is the asset impacted, and also let me know the language. And with this classification, then the case, this proper triage, the case is routed properly to the right agent. But more than that, this company, Home Guardian, and hopefully if I scrolled up and hopefully you see it, this company, Home Guardian, has a commitment of providing a solution in less than 5 minutes to their customers. And that solution is here in this thing called Quick Fix. Can you see that? Quick Fix in the middle? Yes? So it says, Quick Fix. Try to find the source, close the pump or the pipe, disconnect any electrical equipment that you have in the bedroom, and wait for and start drying, right? So that's the situation. So that's the quick response generated by the LLM engine. So classifying the case properly to route properly, but also providing a quick fix that it's immediately routed to the customer. In just a minute, our customer has a response. And of course, we are starting to solve it because we have the proper classification. Okay? So all good here? So probably some of you will say, hey, but handling directly photographs and letting the LLM people could try to trick, right? And could try to cheat. And there could be some fraud. So, well, that's not a big issue, okay? Because if there's fraud around, and let me go back, here I have a case that you probably see the different photograph. This is somebody that sent a fake photograph of a bedroom flooded. Same case, the customer sends the photograph, it's routed, but the LLM it's let's say intelligent enough to mark this as fraud that you see there on type at the top, and of course to put it low priority. This doesn't mean we're not going to attend it, but it goes bottom of the queue on priority because we suspect this is a fraud, so we are not treating this in the high priority. Okay, so this is the first part of the demo. Did you see that part? Yes. Okay. Can you see this change in the slides?
Yes.
Okay. So what we just saw, which is this, right? With the customer, that was the data that was provided by the customer, which was the photograph and the question, and a little bit of information that we had in the CRM, we were able to provide this magical response. Classifying, routing properly, providing a quick fix, that was magic, right? And I guess many of your customers want this tomorrow. But imagine if you could get also and enrich the prompt, right, with information that we have in the insurance score, what type of policy this customer has, what kind of time of premium, is she a loyal customer, is it platinum? What about the solutions DB, right, the solutions database? How do you fix the flooding? What is the typical sequence of steps? And what is the typical time frame? Also, are any contractors available, a plumber available to go there and start fixing this SAP? If we're able to grab all of this information and put that into the prompt and get that information into the LLM, the response that a customer could receive is this one, this example response that you see on screen. So the information is completely different. As we are leveraging all of the data that we have in our organization, in this case, this insurance company, we're able to provide a plan, a specific plan for Brenda that says, hey, you're a premium customer, you have a 1 hotel night free. So you could use it because I know you live in a 1-bedroom apartment. So that's flooded, you're not going to sleep there tonight. So take this opportunity and spend that hotel night. But besides that, we're saying, we can send you a plumber today, right? Because we know that we need plumbing, right? But we also know from the solutions DB that in 3 days, we need to paint, right? Because the walls were humid. You need to, but It's 3 days because you need to wait for drying, everything to dry out, right? So with that information, with that additional information, you could provide a much more accurate and effective response to Brenda. And this is the magic of the LLM plus the grounding, all of that routed and orchestrated by MuleSoft, okay? Moving forward, Andres talked about automation. And I guess you saw a little bit of the picture, the different building blocks. The new kid on the block is the IDP, the Intelligent Document Processing. But imagine in this new world of Gen AI, automation, it's something we should consider as a key capability that we should offer to our customers and try to not just use the LLM response for somebody to read it, but use the LLM response to immediately trigger action processes. And that is what we try to summarize in this slide, right? So with automation, with MuleSoft again, with the automation pieces, what we could do is we take the response from the LLM, we immediately book the plumber, right? An appointment with the right plumber. The right plumber is the plumber that covers the area where Brenda lives, right? Availability of that plumber to go there today. We block that in the calendar and we get confirmation from the plumber. So when we write Brenda, we could write, yeah, the plumber is available to be there in the afternoon. But at the same time, if she says yes, if we wait for the response and Brenda says yes to the hotel appointment, we can also find the nearest hotel from Brenda's home, right? Open up Google Maps with RPA, with web scraping, right? Open up Google Maps, type in Brenda's address, find the nearest hotel, and try to book a hotel for Brenda if she's interested in taking this offer, okay? Okay, so grounding and automation. What's next? You probably imagine, or you probably ask yourself. So trust is the next area where MuleSoft helps, right? What are we talking about? So I guess you've seen many places where we talk about the avalanche of LLM technologies that are out there. We hear about Gemini from Google. We hear about OpenAI. We hear about some of them, Microsoft. But there are many. There are hundreds of thousands of startups doing LLM, right? So the key questions here are, which one are you going to choose? Which one any of your customers will choose? Our answer with MuleSoft, the answer you can give to those customers is that you can choose all that fit your needs and maybe test many until you're satisfied with one of them or with a handful of them, and then use that as the final solution. And this is the way Home Guardian, this fictitious company that we're talking about, has done it. They have created, also to accelerate projects, a generic API, which is the prompting API, and depending on the type of content that is requested. So if it's images, they go to Stability AI. If it's math, they go to Wolfram, and if it's text, they go to ChatGPT. And guess what? That's an API that is routing to the different LLM technologies that are connected through MuleSoft. The second question that many companies say is, well, can I trust this LLM technologies, right? Can I trust OpenAI? Because it's my customer data. It's not longer myself trying to find the best possible route for my summer vacation. So the answer is, yeah, you can trust any of those if you put the right rules in place. And the right rules, in this case, it's MuleSoft as UAPIM, API management, to be able to ensure no sensible data from your business processes, from your applications, from your customers is moved to the public world. And also, so that's left to right and right to left. And also, for example, ensuring that the response has no toxicity or bad language, okay? So I mean, we're on top of the hour. So I think there was another demo around this. We do have it. We will probably send you a video because it's our time is over and my network is not working well on demos. But I think I would probably stop here and just do a summary of what I tried to explain really briefly in this short time and with this demo. So the role of MuleSoft in any Gen AI initiative in any of your customers which are thinking about. We do with the same platform 3 key things or 4 key things. We can do the grounding, which means enriching the prompt so the response from the LLM, it's really effective and really adapted to the customer conversation and business process. Secondly, trust, right? No sensible data is going to be sent into the public world because it's our customer data. We don't want to send it. It's our value, right? Also, when we're getting the response, we need to check for hallucinations, which is lies, and we need to check for things like toxicity or sentiment. And then finally, we need to work with multiple LLMs, and we need to orchestrate, and we need to wrap those LLMs with a governed API layer, so people in the company don't start using and invoking OpenAI and other LLMs in a crazy way, because then we could have security breaches, brand image breaches, and also a big bill whenever the invoice comes from all of these vendors because we're calling them too many times. And then finally, the automation, right? What we want to do is take the LLM response and trigger immediately processes, not only present text into a human to react, right? And that is the value of MuleSoft. And I think my time is over here, so I can stop here. So maybe open to further questions.
Thanks a lot, Antonio. I think it was really very interesting to see how MuleSoft can play a key role, from my point of view, a key role in any Gen AI projects. So, any questions for Antonio, Pior, or myself? No question? Everything is clear? Okay, if no question, we are going, as Pior said before, we are going to share with you the deck and the recording, okay? And feel free to contact us. Yeah, there is a question from Jose Gama. Antonio, I don't know if you see the question in the chat.
Yes. How do you identify which LLM to use? I mean, in this case, in this demo, we are looking into the prompt and looking into what type of content is requested. So if we see a math operation, we route to Wolfram. If we see text, we route to OpenAI. But in reality, our customers will know. This is just an example, right, of routing based on type of modal, on type of content. But in reality, our customers will have LLMs that are specialized in, for example, policy adjustments, and LLMs that are specialized in sales, right, in lead scoring, and LLMs that are specialized in this and that. So the logic to route is something we need to build, or you need to build as part of your MuleSoft implementation project to define the right rules. Okay, so how do we do it? Yes, you could use AI to understand the prompt and ask questions. Say, hey, is this about math? Is this about images? Is this about this? Is this about that? So, for example, a demo that I didn't show because of the lack of time and the bad behavior of my laptop was around policies built with Policy Manager in MuleSoft. Checking for toxicity and doing tokenization, sensible data. So we intercept the prompt, and any sensible data is tokenized before sending that into the LLM. How do we do that? So we use a tokenization AI service, right? That is specialized on that. You call it and you say, hey, this is my information. Bring me back the items that you believe are personal identifier information or sensible data, and I will tokenize that. Okay. So there are many ways. You know, the magic of Policy Manager, or adding the policy, is that inside a custom policy, you can add anything, any logic, and even Gen AI used for adding that logic and then applying that into any of the endpoints. Any other questions?
All right then. Well, Antonio, thank you for bringing all this very interesting information around, let's say, the topic of generative AI and MuleSoft. We've just passed the top of the hour, so I want to thank you, everybody, for joining this call. Please look, of course, into one of our next upcoming enablement sessions. We will share that also in the email with all of the content that we deliver today. So with that said, thank you very much, and see you next time. Cheers.
Thank you, everybody.